So we are discussing Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the dialogue between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. We are discussing sixth chapter, which is concerned with meditation only, the science of meditation. And in that we were discussing yesterday 25th verse, Sanai Sanai Rupam Ramed Buddhya Dhriti Grihidaya Atma Sanstham Manah Kritva Na Kinchit Api Chintayet. How to control the mind, withdraw the mind from outward tendency to have contact with the external sense objects and establish it on the central spot that is eternally steady, that is in other way we know as the Supreme Self, the center of everything. We have to fix the mind there, and that is by and by. It is not a sudden action. It is a slow process. Today we shall see the process again further. Lord Krishna explains how to withdraw the mind. Yato yato nischarati manah chanchalam asthiram tatastato niyametat atmaneva vasam nayat. Same thing in a different way. He is emphasizing upon the withdrawal of the mind from the sense objects and fixing it on the central point. From whatever cause the restless and unsteady mind wanders away, let it be any cause. There will be several innumerable causes for the mind to be scattering away or to be restless, and those causes may be innumerous, but yet somehow or other one has to withdraw this mind from its outgoing tendency and contact with the objects and fix it again and again on the center. From that let him restrain. If restrain it and bring it under the control of the self alone, control of the self alone. What is the self then? We have been discussing it regularly, continuously, one thing only. The absolute steadiness is the truth, which is never changing, which is eternally steady, constancy, dhruva padam, jo, the state of absolute equilibrium, that is truth, which is not changeable. Whatever is changes, whatever changes, that is not real. So simple, but we are habituated. We are means our mind is habituated to be always having contact with the sense objects. That's why it is so flittering, so restless. What happens actually? Why does the thought waves have a tendency to have contact with the sense objects? Why? That also we have seen several times and analytically. When the thought waves are imperfect, it is not rhythmical, it is not slow and steady, then naturally there will be dissimilarities or haphazardness in vibration of the waves. So naturally there will be a feeling of incompleteness. That is why to have this complete fullness, it has to have support from others. That is the natural tendency of everything, not only thought waves, everything in this universe. Everything is imperfect, and that's why it is restless, that's why there is change. And change is having the one purpose only, to have fullness, to have completeness. That is, in other terms we know desires, and we are ever engaged in fulfilling the desires to fill up the gap, that's all. Mathematical term or literature term, fill up the gap. Something is to be filled up. And scientific, philosophically we can say, the gap, sandhya, the juncture, is cause for everything. Cause for the whole universe, creation, and its protection, and its destruction, and again creation. That gap, that sandhya is the cause for everything. And that is seen in the two ways. One is background, which is never changing, and the other is the gap between the outer picture. That is called sandhya, the gap. So when it is interrupted, there is question. How, why, when, how far, all these questions. And when we see the background continuity, then there is no such questions. That is the reality. Reality is disturbed by the unreal flow having interruptions. That is called sandhya. In this way, there is a tendency everywhere to grow. That growth, of course, from one sense growth is good, positive, but the same thing from other angle, it is a negative term, because it is a incompleteness which we know as a growth, changing for having fullness. That is because of incompleteness, that is your imperfection. So that is the nature of the creation. It is unavoidable, not only with the mind. Every cell of the body has this tendency. Every atom of the universe has the same tendency. That's why everything is restless. And that is due to the absolute energy. We call it Siti Maharani. The Mahamaya, it creates it. That is called giving a push, giving a tendency, a momentum to go ahead. So this supreme power is called Chodayatri, giving a tendency, feeling a tendency, injecting a tendency to every atom to go ahead. चेष्टा प्रदान करती है. That is the root cause of our creation and restlessness, and it multiplies in different ways. So many causes are there found for the restlessness of the mind. Mind is nothing but a very system, and that is naturally to be always changing and outgoing. And somehow or other, that center, if we know it is the constancy, the equilibrium, then that outgoing tendency should be stopped. Then you may have question, shall we go with the nature or against the nature? This will be a serious question. Sometimes, many often, we have to say, one should be always one with the nature, so you can obey the principles of the nature and you will be happy. That is ordinarily everybody says, and we understand that to be one with the nature. Is it right? Or to go against nature? What is right? What should be done? Very, very serious and very complicated question. Should we be one with nature or should we fight with the nature? One with the nature. There is no end to your journey then. It is endless evolution process. There is no end to it. Do you want to end it? So, let us have compromise. Always, this is the political. Pardon?
What does it mean, one with nature?
To be one with nature means to accept all the rules and regulations of nature and go with it, means to accept the changing phenomena. Accept it. Be restless. This is called accepting the law of nature. But that is, of course, that we do sometimes, all the time we do it, but not in a perfect sequence or rhythm. We do it imperfectly. We do it haphazardly. That is called going against nature, which is cause for our miseries. If we can go step by step parallelly with the nature, endlessly we will go on, and that is the way to be immortal bodily, physically. You can live for long, long time. Nothing, nature will not disturb you, will not go against you. You have to obey all the natural laws, step by step, with rhythmically going parallelly with it. And we don't do it. That's why we have the cause for suffering. We don't accept the nature. We go against the nature. For example, the children are by nature, they are truthful and simple. We teach them not to be simple, not to be truthful, not to be open-hearted. We teach them to go against the nature. What to do? What the children can do? They are helpless. By nature, when the child is born, it is one with the nature. And you know, in Tibet, especially the lamas, when they have some newborn child, they take it and dip it in cold water, natural water, just opposite of Indian system. We protect the child from outward atmosphere and to keep it safe from the outward temperature. Slowly it will have acclimatized with the temperature and conditions of this world. Because in the womb it has got different system. When it comes out of the womb, to be one with the nature, it takes time. Whereas the lamas, the moment the child is born, they take it and allow it to, all of a sudden, that is possible. Because the body is now trying to come out of the one situation to adjust in the other situation. So at that nick of the hour, if it is able to adjust with the outside world, then it will go on for whole life. They dip the child in cold water. If it survives, it is fit to live in this world. If it dies, they don't feel sorry for it. It is unfit for this world. Let it go. So to be one with the nature, we have not been trained since our childhood. Always we are treated to go against nature. It has become our nature, our habit. So if one can go step by step with the nature, there is no question of suffering in this physical life. Anyhow, going against nature means, in reality, going against the nature means we have not to allow the nature to overpower us. Stoppage of everything. Prana and mind and all this body, physical system, this is the work of nature. We don't want anything. Stop. That is not easy a job. That is done by continuous this yogic practice, not only Raja Yoga, many other methods are there. And that is what the yogis do. And it is going fully 100% against the nature. And that is wanted. Then only you can control the nature. Go beyond nature. What is nature? I and my. The mind and all these egos, I, that is called nature, and to go beyond it, to stop all the process, complete hunger strike. We shall not cooperate with the government. स्वदेशी अपनाओ, विदेशों को भगाओ. सत्याग्रह करेंगे हम. So, you see, from whatever cause, these are the causes. The restless and unsteady mind wanders away. From that, let him restrain it and bring it under the control of the self. Alone means the central point. That is called self, the supreme self, the central steadiness, which is able to rotate the whole universe around it. Sansar Chakra. Now this process to restrain, it should not be all of a sudden, then there will be reaction. So we have seen it just before it. Sanai sanai ruparamed. It should be slowly, gradually, but steadily. It should be practiced so that there will not be sudden drastic change and reaction. In this verse, the Lord gives the method to control the mind. Same thing He has given us before also. Just as you drag the bull again and again to your house when it runs out. Yesterday we have seen it little. So also you will have to drag the mind to your point or center of lakshya, means your goal, again and again when it runs towards the external objects. We now have understood why the mind goes to have contact with external objects. And what is this external and internal? It is the feeling due to limited body. Body creates this internal feeling and external feeling. If you give good cotton seeds extract, sugar, plantains, etc. to the bull, it will not run away, but it will remain in your house. Even so, if you make the mind taste the eternal bliss of the self within, little by little, by the practice of concentration, it will gradually abide in the self only and will not run towards the external objects of the senses. On this point we were discussing yesterday about having control over the wild animals. Sound and the other objects only make the mind restless and unsteady. By the knowing the defects of the objects of sensual pleasure, by understanding their illusory nature, by the cultivation of discrimination between the real and the unreal, and also dispassion, these qualities should be practiced sincerely, gradually, and for a long time, and then we will be able to control the mind, mental thought waves, and by making the mind understand the glory of the and the splendor of the self, you can win the mind entirely away from sensual objects and fix it firmly on the self. Self don't think something strange, something away, something unimaginable. The central point is self, that's all. Center. Call it as you like, think it as you like. This central steady point, that's all. Now, the process we have understood, and now the sincere sadhak should try slowly and should control the mind. Niyametat atmaneva vasam nayat. Slowly, by controlling the mind, one should fix it on the central self. So what happens then? Prasanta manasam hi enam yoginam sukham uttamam upeiti santarajasam brahmabhutam akalmasam. Prasanta manasam, then the mind when fixed on the central point, the self, what happens? It becomes peaceful. Peaceful means steadiness. Peace is something not from away, something to be achieved. Peace is nothing but steadiness, rest. Supreme bliss verily comes to this yogi whose mind is quiet, peaceful. Quiet, peaceful means extremely steady, not moving at all, just like a stone. Quiet, peaceful, whose passion is quieted. Passion means sad desires, attachment for the sense objects, desires, whose passion is quieted. Now there is no need of fulfilling because it is centered on the full. So that it will not have the sense of haphazardness or incompleteness. Naturally it will feel, I am quite okay. That completeness it will realize within itself. Who will realize? The mind means the thoughts. All the waves, they will be steady, they will be rhythmical, they will be having a feeling of fullness, completeness, so they will not run hither and thither. Desires are controlled, passion is controlled. Now naturally they will be withdrawn towards the center and they will subside. They will not be able to remain for a longer time. Naturally they will subside away, they will disappear away. They are only waves. So it will subside by itself. How long it will resist to be? So the person whose passion is quieted, who has become Brahman, one with the center, and who is free from sin. What is it called? Sin. This word adharma, pap, it has it has put everyone into so many doubts. Always we think of sin, and we, oh, if I do something like this, it is called sin. I have to go to hell and I have to suffer. It creates a type of fear in everybody, and even then we don't hesitate to occur sins because of our habits. We have been habituated to do something harmful to the others, to us also. This has become our habit. Though we try to overcome it, we cannot. We are slave to it. So what this sin is known as? Actually, it is defined in different ways by the different great saints and sages, the seers, the analyzers and the investigators. They have seen it in an elaborate way, what is called sin. Whatever action or movement we do, what is harmful for us, that is called sin. For us means for the whole universe. For you means you are the mini world, don't forget. And whatever is harmful or against you, how we understand this harmfulness? See, we have some goal. Everyone has some goal. And ultimate goal is this only, to come to our home, that is center, homeward journey. We have been away from our source, our center, our sweet home, where we were always enjoying the absolute peace. Somehow or other, we have felt ourselves, we have forgotten our sweet home, we have been derailed from the track. Now, aimless, helpless, hopeless, orphan wanderers. And everybody's aim will be to go back to our sweet home. Sweet home, the original source, where from we have been dragged out, as it were, and we have forgotten the track also, where to go, what to do, what to not do. In this way, whatever we do by our effort means to go ahead to get something, that is of two types. That will become of two types. One will be helping our goal, the other will be distracting us from our goal, from our path. So, which will be disturbing, that is called bad, and which is helping, that is called good. In this way, anything and everything we can divide it into good and bad. And that good ones will have a tendency to force us to go back to our sweet home. And the others, they will drag you out and push you out. Go wander in the forest for eternity. Don't come back to your home. We are in the way to give you, persuade you, give you some hopes and some type of attraction so that you will come behind us. These ideas, these thoughts, and these type of trials, efforts, they are in total, we can say they are sins. They are disturbing elements. They don't allow us to go back to our sweet home. They are obstacles. And whatever supports us, not only us, it will be a support for everyone. Because I means my society. Don't forget this. I means I am concerned with the whole society of beings, whether they are inert beings or living beings, that doesn't matter. Everybody is in one way, outgoing tendency, and maybe they are differently identified in different ways. They are classified in different type of beings. Some animals, birds, human beings, or gods, subtler beings, or gross beings. Let it be anything. Everybody has a tendency to outgo. And whatever actions help us to go back to our source, that is good ones, that is called dharma. And whatever drags you away, that is called sin. And it is applicable to everyone, not only for us. Whatever I do, it comes back to me and it reflects in the society. I am one member of the whole total community or society. So if I am disturbed, the whole society is disturbed. If one flower in the garland is spoiled, the whole garland is spoiled. This feeling we forget. Whatever we do, it has effect on the whole universe. So, my right doing has an effect on the whole universe. My wrongdoings have also effect on the whole universe. If it is helping, then it helps us also the natural tendency of the nature to go in a rhythmical way, a harmonized way. And if you do something which stops it or obstructs it, that is called sin. Centrally, this is the meaning of sin and right things. Now, different terms, different angle of visions, people have different terms to define it. There are so many differences in opinion. This is the central understanding, basic understanding. So some said, Paropakaraya punyaya papaya parapidanam. Whatever is good to the others, that is called punya, righteousness, and whatever is harmful for others, whatever means, whatever thoughts, whatever speech, whatever deeds you do, if it harms others, it is good, or harms others, it is bad, it is called sin. And whatever helps others, gives pleasure to the others, then it is called right thing. dharma. And that also means you are not doing good to others, you are doing good to yourself, because you are the one bead in the whole garland. If one is disturbed, everything is disturbed. If one is strong, the whole chain is strong. If everyone is strong, every link is strong, then whole chain is strong. If one is weak, the whole chain is weak. This point should not be forgotten. This we forget, that's why we create such wrong things in the society. Yes?
The chain is no stronger than its weakest link.
Yes, yes. That is what, if we think elaborately in a open heartedness, then this is the reality. So what is good, what is bad, we easily can understand. To doing others means it is doing for us only. And kho we play, kho or what do they say? In a round the children sit, and one will be say, running out, and the other will chase it. Anyway, they will be sitting in a round. And if you push one, then everybody is pushed, and the last one will come to push the first. This is how our action is reacting in everyone, and it comes to us in the end. You cannot be away from the reaction. Your reaction comes. Do unto others as you wish to be done by others. This is the law. So you are doing good to others means you are doing good to yourself only. In this way, if we see the whole system, then what happens? What is called sin and what is called dharma, right? Now we have understood. Doing to others means doing to yourself. Don't worry, it will come to you. So whatever is bad and obstructing and obstacles in our path, not allows us to achieve our goal, that is sin, and that should not be done. Akalmasam Brahma Bhutam. When one has reached home, what can be obstructing it? Akalmasam, without sin. He is sinless. And that's how in Ramayana we say, Sanmukha hoi jiva mohi javate janama koti agha sins nasahi tavate. When the being comes to me, comes before me, he has become sinless. Me means center. One who has reached his home, what can enemies do? Who can obstruct it? When the child has come to the lap of the mother, who can stop it? Who can obstruct it to do something? It is safeguard now. That's how the Lord says, one who comes to me. In Gita also same thing. Lord has said, Jamam kya, several times Lord has given us assurance, guarantee. Ananya chintayantamaham jena paripasate. And other also, you think of me, come to me. Mameva je prapadyante maya me tam tarantite. Maya cannot do anything to it. One who has taken surrender under me, what can this world, all these changing phenomena do to him? I am the absolute constancy. When it comes to me, no change can do any change in it. So this way, once you have reached your home, you are safe. That is, in other words, Brahma Bhutam Akalmasam, one who has rested in the absolute truth forever. He is sinless now. Upeti Santarajasam. He attains the unsteady, stops the unsteadiness. Santa Rajasam, Rajas means flitteringness, quickness, the motion, and it has been quietened. So, that peaceful state or the absolute restful state, it attains, it rests forever and ever. That is called peace, that is called silence, that is called the absolute abode of the Supreme. Yoginam Sukham Uttamam, that is the abode of eternal happiness, unbroken, uninterrupted happiness, which is otherwise termed as bliss. Bliss. Prasanta Manasam, the mind has become calm down. Such a yogi attains to such a state. In this verse and in the next also, the Lord describes the benefits of yoga, the consequence of yoga. Why? What is the need of it? At least, yes, at least you will have some attraction, some I have to achieve it. When the children see the Rasugullas in the closed almiraj of restaurant, if one can give me two, it will do. To persuade you, to encourage you, this is a must. In this verse and in the next also, the Lord describes the benefits of yoga, supreme, eternal, unalloyed and uninterrupted bliss comes to the yogi whose mind is perfectly serene, who has calmed his passions, nature, who has destroyed all sorts of attachments, who has attained knowledge of the self, and thus become a Jivanmukta, or one who is liberated while living, who feels that all is Brahman only, and who is taintless, spotless, Niranjan, who is not affected by dharma or adharma, good or evil. सखियाँ वो घर सबसे न्यारा, जहाँ पुण्य न पाप पसारा. There is no dharma, there is no adharma, न दिन न rain. One, there is no day nor night, which is strangely different from every other abodes. That abode belongs to my boss. So tomorrow we shall see further. Munjanevam sadatpanam yogi vigatama kalmasaha sukhena brahma sansparsam atyantam sukham asnute. The boundless joy it enjoys. Its happiness knows no bound, no limit. Tomorrow we shall see. You will be persuaded to have it. The grapes. Sometimes it becomes soury. No, it is very sweet. Very sweet. Hari Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnada Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai. Satchidananda Bhagavan ki jai. Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. Gita Mata ki jai.